Blitz Esports releases new videos every week. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out.
So you want to watch the Overwatch League. You're not alone, but no matter if you're a veteran esports fan or a newcomer, you can agree on one thing. Watching the game isn't always easy. Even if you've played Overwatch before, it's tough to sort out the visual clutter on broadcast and keep track of heroes, teams, or plays at any one time. And that's what we're here to help you with today. This is your Overwatch League Viewer's Guide. To start off, we'll assume you're aware of the fundamentals of Overwatch, the basic gameplay, heroes, and the concepts of cooldowns and abilities. If you're really starting from square one though, check out the video in the description for a quick rundown before we get into things. Ready? Okay, let's talk about the rules of engagement. If you've ever watched football, you know the rules of engagement. The offense and defense set up behind their linemen, and after the snap, players on either side do specific jobs to either advance the ball or stop it. Teams in Overwatch work in a similar way. There's a front line, usually made up of 2 tank heroes with high health and low damage. These are the linemen of Overwatch, who score fewer points, in this case kills, but contribute by starting fights, protecting teammates, and holding key positions on the map. Then there's the back line, where more vulnerable support heroes heal their teammates and provide unique tools, like bonus speed or causing enemies to take more damage. And finally, there are the DPS heroes. Their job is to do the most damage to the enemy team. These are your star wide receivers and running backs, making the flashy, high-impact plays that result from proper team coordination.
One right now, and look at it, he's just taking another angle. Oh my god! Oh, there we go, Saya! Triple kill from him! The huge plays, just tombing him. Get out, Valiant!
A play or team fight in professional Overwatch sees both teams of 6 grouping up and starting a fight over an objective, whether it's a cart that needs to be pushed to the end of a track or control of a certain area on the map. Usually, one of the tanks will engage onto the other team to start, but a well-placed shot by a DPS can score an early kill and force a fight to break out. Priority targets are typically backline supports or low-health damage dealers, but teams will focus down anyone if they're out of position. So we've established how teams organize themselves into roles and how each typical fight will go. But how do I know who's winning the fight and who should I be looking at? Allow me to direct your attention to the heads-up display. We'll take it step by step. Up here are portraits with the players, their hero, along with their health and progress towards their ultimate. The more ultimates a team has ready, the more likely they are to win the fight through sheer firepower and utility. Down below, you see what the player sees, their health, ammo, ultimate progress, and ability cooldowns. And finally, home teams will have their primary colors throughout the screen and across in-game effects, while the away team plays in white. It's nice info, but it's a lot to keep track of in the middle of a chaotic fight. And that's where the most useful bit comes in, the kill feed. This area of the screen will notify you of key happenings throughout the game, no matter whose angle you're viewing from. Mainly, it lets you know when a player has killed another player and who assisted in the kill. But it also tells how that kill happened, whether by a basic attack, ultimate, or just jumping off the map to regroup. It'll also show when a player destroys certain structures or attacks. For example, Junkrat's Riptire is not a player per se, but it's important enough that the kill feed will show if it's been destroyed. The same goes for D.Va's mech, Orisa's ultimate, Torb's turret, and Symmetra's teleporter. Lastly, in the specific case of Mercy, the kill feed will also show you if a player has been resurrected. It may sound counterintuitive that looking away from the action provides the most information, but keeping an eye on the kill feed is the best way to know what's happening. That's because the most important factor in who will win a fight is simple man advantage. The more players alive on your team, the more likely you are to win the fight, and the stats back this up. The team with the first kill wins the fight 3 out of 4 times. If you're watching the kill feed, you'll always have a good idea of what direction a fight is going in. Now let's put everything we've learned so far together and see how these techniques can help keep track of a massive, cluttered fight. In this play from the Grand Finals of Season 1, the London Spitfire have 1 more minute to push the payload against the Philadelphia Fusion. Both teams are composed similarly. Philly is using the standard 2 tank, 2 support, 2 DPS lineup, while London have traded in 1 DPS for a 3rd support hero that's tanky enough to play with the front line. The players get into formation and prepare for a fight to break out, and we see that each team has 3 ultimates. However, London has 2 players with their ults nearly charged. Once the fight breaks out, their most valuable resources will be coming up first, so slight advantage to them. The London frontline tanks start by engaging on the enemy team. While their Winston jumps in from the side, D.Va uses her ultimate to throw a bomb that forces Philly to give up their positioning. This makes Philly's Mercy use her ultimate, granting a burst of mobility and healing to keep the team alive through the onslaught. The Mercy and one of Philly's DPS heroes, their Hanzo, hide from the bomb behind the cart. However, Hanzo isn't hidden well enough, and he gives up the first kill in the fight. With man advantage secured, London is all in on the attack. Philly's Winston tries to keep the fight from moving into the backline, but London's Winston engages onto star DPS player Carpe, taking him out of the fight. Philly is able to resurrect their Hanzo at the same time though, keeping London at only a 6-on-5 advantage. These happen almost simultaneously on opposite ends of the screen, but luckily, the kill feed is keeping track. With a major DPS threat down, London targets the Philly backline, trapping them between 2 walls of blue. From here, ultimate attacks start flying from off-screen and the action gets a little tough to follow. All in all, 5 players use their ults in the span of just a few seconds, and you may think that a lot happens in the chaos, but the kill feed tells us the real story. Philly scored only 1 kill, which was quickly erased through a resurrection by London's Mercy. Once the dust clears, the fight is actually back to even, and the teams get back into formation. London DPS Birdring uses his ult to initiate and catches the enemy Mercy out of position. It's a massive kill. The most valuable part of the backline goes down early and makes for a huge London advantage. They press the attack, and London looks like they get 2 kills here, sealing the deal. But remember, killing D.Va counts as 2 events in the kill feed, one for her mech and one for her, so it's not quite as over as it seems. It doesn't get much better though, as London takes down Philly's Zenyatta, the last player on their backline. All seems lost, but Carpe gets a key kill onto London's backline, taking their Zenyatta, and crucially his ultimate, out of the fight. It's now 5-on-3 for London, but Philly respawn close by, and their tank makes the smart play to back up and regroup for a proper team fight. With all 6 players alive and London's Zenyatta still on his way back, Philly have something they haven't had yet: man advantage. Winston engages to stop the cart, and once D.Va catches up, they force London to fight on the objective, letting their teammates stay safe from view. Philly's Winston eventually falls, and we're down to a 5-on-5 fight. But he's bought enough time for a big play. Carpe comes through off-screen with a headshot onto the enemy DPS, London's only major damage dealer on the field. From there, we see what a real team fight victory looks like. Philly scores a kill on London's D.Va and resurrect their tank, making it 6v4 for Philly. Desperation abilities fly from London, including their own res, but the numbers advantage is too much. Philly whittles the Spitfire down, and with the kill feed all in white, the Fusion take the round.
Also on the Mercy, desperately trying to keep his tanks up, but it's not going to be enough. Philadelphia Fusion make a statement here. They'll take map 1. Once again, digging their heels in at the end of Dorado. History repeats itself and they're off to a good start.
Competitive Overwatch can be a mess to follow at times, but if you can understand how team compositions play out, how fights work on a basic level, and how to use the kill feed and other in-game cues to follow the action, you'll be well on your way to breaking down the game with the best of them.
Blitz Esports releases new videos every week. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out.